It's the holiday season, and I know there's going to be some spending, traveling, gifts, and a lot of time with family and friends. In this video, I'm going to break down several different ways you can stay safe and protect your money during this holiday season. According to Sion, the peak time for fraud during the holidays is between December 11th and December 16th. And why is that? Well, it's 2 weeks before Christmas, and that's when most people buy all of their gifts. And of course, there's fraud throughout all of the holiday season, but that particular week, there is a big spike. And how can we protect ourselves from that? Well, I have a few tips that you can use at any point during this year, but it's especially critical during the holiday season. So stick with me on this. One of the first ways to just be mindful during the holiday season about scams that are out there to protect your money is fake order confirmations. I know it sounds weird, but you know how it feels when you get those robocalls, and then also when you get spam emails. You try to ignore those, but some of us are a little bit quicker to look at our text messages, and a lot of these confirmations are coming via text message. You might see a link in there that you could accidentally click, or you just aren't sure. And according to Amazon, 50% of the impersonation scams that have happened are related to fake order confirmations that people have received, and they filed a complaint with Amazon, right? But if you are mindful of what you're purchasing and when you're purchasing it, you could sense when a fake order confirmation is out of sync with the actual order. But that's something you really have to be careful of, because it's really easy to click on these things. Something else to be mindful of are e-commerce scams. So this can present itself in a few different ways. One would be like a pre-sale scam, meaning there's a new product that's coming out. Sometimes it's advertised on social media, a new product that you would have to put money up to have access to. And then eventually later on, when they actually release the product, they don't send you anything. So that's one scam. And then another one would be a giveaway scam, where there's a lot of hype around specific products and they say that they're going to give them away in exchange of something else. That could be money or information. So it could be your email address, it could be other personal information that can be used and pieced together to get more from you as a consumer. So be mindful of these e-commerce scams. There's a lot of ads that's going to be out there. So I want you to be very, very careful with what you're clicking on and what you put or what you fill out and give your information to. Now, the next one is not so much of a scam, but it's more of a tip that I want to give you. And I recommend you just use one card for your holiday shopping. This helps make things easier for just tracking your spending. And also it's proactive in a defense for you, because you'll be more mindful of all of the charges that you've actually made versus the ones that could be coming up as fake confirmations or other spam-worthy type of things. So if you are using one card, you'll be able to look through your statement and just track some of those expenditures versus having to look at this bank account here or that credit card here. Just, in my opinion, use one credit card for all of these purchases, and that way you'll protect yourself from just some of the fraudulence that's out there. And of course, credit card companies have some protection that's available as well. So that factors into the company that you actually work with. So just make sure you understand some of their policies, but just use one card to keep everything organized. It's important to note too that a lot of banks and credit card companies, they're using predictive analytics to figure out if a purchase is actually from you or if it's from a fraudster. They know exactly when the card's being used by itself, or if someone's putting it in online at a different IP address that's unfamiliar to you or any of your devices. So they're proactively working through some of this, but at the end of the day, a lot of debit card, credit card information is sold on the black market, and sometimes that's how people get stuff. So if you are at least tracking things under one credit card, you're more than likely able to figure out if something fishy is going on, or you'll be quicker in responding and saying, no, that's not me making that charge. I know that that's a fraudster. Another thing you need to do is to make sure you avoid public Wi-Fi and strange QR codes. So public Wi-Fi for a long time has been known as a threat, and you could be waiting for a friend to finish shopping, or you can just be at some type of coffee shop and you just decide you want to use their Wi-Fi. you could be sharing your information with somebody that you don't know, and they can reuse it later on, and you won't be able to track the pattern of when your information was compromised. So you have to make sure that when you are in a public place like that, you're not making those type of purchases. And then also, you're not just scanning any QR code that you see, okay? Because a lot of this can be linked to malware that could eventually just give them access to some of your information. And Lord knows that if your money is tied up with the fraud schemes, then it's harder for you to find a way to invest. You're just gonna be distracted. So I want you to make sure you're just taking care of some of these house rules so that you can put your energy towards what matters. Here are a few more tips. One more place to avoid fraud schemes is the online marketplaces. So now I'm talking about Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. There are a few others that are out there, but these places are known for people to find a way to get over on people. And there's a lot of social engineering involved. They use sob stories to really pull on your heartstrings, and then there's a fraud scheme attached too. And they might be trying to use Cash App or Zelle or PayPal and all these other things. Just make sure if you're using any of these services, use cash, especially during the holiday season. It may be time to get a gift for someone, or you wanted to get rid of some old gifts or some things that someone else would want to buy, and you figure, oh, well, they don't have cash, I'll take the Cash App or I'll take the Zelle. These people are able to cancel it or find a way to make it fraudulent. And I've even seen it with cashier's checks as well. So when it comes to these type of exchanges, do them in a well-lit public place and use cash. One of the last tips I want to share with this, just being safe during the holiday season and protecting your coins, is verify where you're making donations. So there are a lot of charities that will send out mailers and things throughout the year, and there's a peak closest to the end of the year. This is where people start to donate more and get things off of the books. So you need to make sure you're verifying with specific organizations that they are actually a 501c3 or that they're actually a legitimate organization. Because as you know, where there are people, there is some level of fraudulence somewhere. Okay, so one of the sites I like to use is charitynavigator.org, and you'll be able to look up these charities and ensure that it actually is legitimate. And you can also do some additional research on your own, but just make sure that, again, no one's pulling on your heartstrings and getting you to give up money to an organization that's going to misuse it or have it misappropriated. So just be mindful of these things. Look, I have plenty of financial tips and educational tips, and I want to make sure that I'm keeping you informed and safe during this holiday season. So I want you and your family to go ahead and like and subscribe to this video, turn on notifications so that you don't miss out, and last but not least, stay present.